Right, hello. Hopefully the chat and everything works. So, annoyingly, the internet was meant to be fixed yesterday. The guy that they sent over couldn't do it, basically, because it's apparently not a problem in the house. It's a problem in the road or something. So, tomorrow I have to wait in nearly all sort of afternoon to evening for a technician to come round for one that's qualified to, like, dig up the road or something to check the wires in the road. So I assume it's a job of, like, they open the manhole cover, do something the wires, come in the house to see if it's done anything, go back out, repeat over and over and over again. And I'd assume the chat's broken again, so let me do a pop-out chat. Yeah, the chat's broken. All right, Peach, Flazzy, Joshua, Burger King. So hello, everybody who's come on. So as you can see, the corner there is still pretty tidy compared to what it normally is, because I'm still thinking they're going to need to come in and play with that port. Right, Tyre? So yeah, that's the annoying thing is had to wait in obviously a while Tuesday for them, and then it turned out they couldn't really do much. So at the moment, the internet might be fixed tomorrow, it might not. That's all I know. So the bloke, when he came round, was able to look at some diagnostic thing, and he said it took apparently one day it took, like, it conked out 10 times in one day, apparently, of how shit the connection is at the moment. All right, Rich. Well, the stuff's still in the house, Peach. It's just not there. It doesn't really make a difference. It's just in a different place. Yeah, it is Wednesday, Brighton. Yeah, so as said, the thing yesterday on Tuesday didn't really solve anything. So they've now got another technician coming out Thursday. I've hopefully managed to pay off that thing as well, the one that people didn't know. If people didn't know about it, I've mentioned it before, but I had an import tax on some stuff I bought a while ago, and the company I had to pay the import tax to were making it as hard as possible to actually just pay them money. So I think I've sorted it today, and that was basically just doing my own research, because their customer service was shit. I've never known a customer service before where they actively try and stop you paying money to a company. That's like the opposite of what they're meant to do. But yeah, I think that's sorted now. Indeed, Flazzy. Is what for the sake of convenience, Tyre? If you mean the corner, yeah, it's because they have to get at that box, because that's where the phone line comes into the house. The tank would clearly win M4 Sherman, because the Abrams can just hit it with a shell. Game over for the crab. That sounds good, Peach. But yeah, so basically, yeah, it's that corner, Tyre. Basically, I have to keep this room relatively clear so they can just, come into the room, walk straight to the end and get to the socket until the internet's fixed. When that's fixed, I can put stuff back again, although obviously I'll put it back tidier than it was originally. All right, your mother, the link to the crossbow site you're on about, I sent it you on Discord. I can't link it on the YouTube video because I think that would break YouTube's terms of services and get the video removed. All right, Steve. Well, for me, it's still waiting for the internet to be fixed, because that's the one where it comes into the house, Burger King. They wouldn't look at ports that aren't the master port, because there's no point. Because if you basically in a house, you have the master port where the phone lines come into the house and therefore the internet. And that's the one the router or the router connects to, the hub. No, he was interested in all the guns, Steve, but I reassured him that nobody was getting shot with them. Oh, that's good, Brighto. But yeah, I guess it hid your message. But yeah, not many drunk Russian, not that I can think of off the top of my head anyway. But yeah, so that is the master socket for where the line comes into the house, essentially. So if there's a problem with that socket, all the others are going to have a problem. It's because this is the only one that matters for the internet connection. And it's not the phone lines that are giving us the problem, it's the internet. And from the sound of it, there's damage to the line outside the house somewhere. So that's what they're going to have to diagnose. So it's basically somewhere between our house and, like the box for everybody in the village I live in, where you always see somebody playing about with it with one of those little tents above it. The connection problem is going to be somewhere between our house and there. So Thursday is basically when they're sending somebody to investigate the road. And, what they have to do is come into the house every now and again to check that port to see if it's working properly. Because they plug like a diagnostics thing into it and it shows you the speeds they're getting and like the signal not strength, but like the reliability of the signal. Brighton, it does not matter who I'm on where I am, because you'll get the same service because it's using the same line. I don't know how it works in Poland, but where I am in the UK, every company uses BT lines. So we're just on BT, essentially the company that provides the lines. If you go with somebody else, you'd have to have one person look at the internet in your house and still get BT to look at the internet outside your house. I don't know, your mother. I have no idea, or something like that. I suppose if you've already got the stuff and you can legally reload it with some sort of like firework material, you might be able to do it. Yeah, the problem where I am, Tyre, is more just it's like the lines are pretty bad. So I don't think where I am it will make much difference at all, regardless of what ISP you're on. Like in some other places nearby, because there's a bit of competition between ISPs, there's more of a reason for it. But here, when we weren't on BT, you'd still have all the problems at the BT end, plus any extra problems you might have with the other ISP. But yeah, at least the connection's not been as bad since I phoned up to complain. And yeah, at least I know tomorrow there's meant to be somebody coming out to apparently, fix the line in the road, potentially. Or maybe they'll say, oh, health and safety, we can't do it. I don't know. But all right, Nick. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. But as I said, until the internet's properly fixed, I can't guarantee at all if I can do a stream on the day or whatever. And somebody has already got a block. Well done. Don't talk about illegal shit on here. It's a great way to get an instant block, because I'm not going to put up with it. But yeah, the problem is, as I was saying, is with the internet, I can't do, I can't reliably say I will be on at this time to stream if I don't know if the line's going to work. Yeah, that's good, Tyre, if that happened, because the annoying thing was where I am, the two villages next to our village got upgraded really well about a decade or 2 decades ago. Probably early 2000s. Where I am, it's kind of like on the low priority list, so every time somewhere else gets upgraded, ours gets marginally upgraded. Yeah, I suppose that makes sense, doesn't it, Brighto? If every company uses their own thing, you don't run into the problem of like the domino effect of the master one going down and then affecting everything else. Wow. I think monkeys jumping around on trees holding guns will still be less dangerous than helicopters and aeroplanes. Just saying. But yeah, the point is you don't ask about stuff that's illegal in most Western countries. It breaks both YouTube's terms of service and the law. Again, I don't know if in America you can legally ask about the stuff he was asking, but yeah, the main issue is you certainly can't in the UK and that go like, oh, how do I make like IEDs or whatever. Yeah, the thing is, your mother, he doesn't really have the money, I don't think, to get a gaming PC, especially not at the moment if you look at GPU prices due to mining. I've already said caveman. We don't need to go further than asking about essentially illegal munitions. That's all you need to go into. The point is you don't ask that on. It's against, like I said, both YouTube's terms of service and against the law in lots of countries. Whether or not it's against the law in the US, I don't know. But the point is, if it's illegal, don't ask it. Especially when it's in the thing of, it looks like entrapment. Yeah, Ty, the only good thing regarding that is there's meant to be a really good Ethereum ASIC or ASIC, however they're called, coming out soon. Out of my price range, and I imagine they'll sell out instantly, but it's meant to mine about $200 of Ethereum per day in terms of its like hash rate, which is fucking insane. So I'm hoping at least if they become popular, there'll be less people wanting to buy GPUs for mining. Well, it's weird, Nick, because in some US states, isn't it illegal to buy fireworks other than like the 4th of July and some other dates? And again, I'm saying states, not the whole of the US. There's probably a state law thing as well. Well, that's what he said. That's what Tyre said, Nick. But yeah. But that's the thing. Like I said, Mike at the moment definitely couldn't afford a gaming PC. Because even some of my mates that are earning quite good money at the moment who want to get a proper gaming PC because, you know, their PCs are quite old, they're sort of just saying it's not worth it with the prices at the moment. You know, like ones where they don't want to pay $3,000 for a GPU that's either over spec or, you know, have to get one that's really low spec because of the fact they just want something that can play games at 1080 or 2K. Yeah, Jake, that was sort of my point. That, you know, again, like in the UK, there's some different laws regarding things in parts of the UK or at least the British Isles, and then again, yeah, you can get some councils that get funny with stuff that others don't. Well, as I've said before, the GP fine is fine for what it is, but you don't need one today as a good mask. It's pretty outdated. Yeah, that was the thing I was saying to him, Nick, because you mentioned it the other day. I was saying if you look on some of the sites that have pre-builts in, you'll notice they're much better value for money because they've actually got decent GPUs in stock. It's more than what Mike's PC would require, your mother. All right, Mike, you'll be able to answer this for your mother now. But the problem is, your mother is even buying a GPU that would play Killing Floor now, it's not worth it just because of the mining prices. I was lucky that I got the GPUs in my PC when I did because I probably couldn't justify getting it now. I'd just buy a console in all honesty. Like, I know PS5s are out of stock everywhere, but the PS5, if you could get one for 500 quid, is much better value for money than paying, you know, like $2,000 for a GPU that isn't worth that. Yeah, my point was, though, Mr. History, it was just a general thing of where somebody was talking about explosives. Right, the two I've got in the PC Burger King, I've got a 5700 XT, that's my primary GPU for games. And I've also got an RX 480, which is my old GPU, but I've just slapped that in there now because it means I can just mine on that GPU constantly. And then, you know, when I'm not playing games, I can mine on the 5700 XT. And when I am playing games, I just use the 5700 XT for playing games. Yeah, like I say, Nick, I think that's what you need to do now, in all honesty. You know, it's a bit of a shame, isn't it, if you just want to upgrade your GPU? But I can understand why they're doing that if it's literally because people who want to buy PCs can't actually get the components. Because I think my mate was saying that Scans Prebuilts, or like the Scans bare bones systems, had some of the bits in you can't buy separately on there. But yeah, like I said, I'm luckily in a position where I don't need to upgrade for quite a while, but it is really frustrating for the people that want to get a new PC now. The Polish one is Zombie Stone, but don't get the French one. And make sure you get the Polish one, not somebody selling the French one saying it's an MP5. I've done a video covering the differences. Weirdly, that is conveniently here at the moment, the French ARFA. Just simply because I was talking about the satchel with somebody the other day and they wanted to see it. Because I was saying the satchel for this I really like. I just don't like the mask. Because, look, it's fogged up even more now. Look at that. Fucking hell. You can't even see out of it now. Yeah. Look at that. You can't even see out this mask anymore. That's it. I suppose you can wipe the inside down a bit and it gets a bit clearer, but not by much. eBay, if they're still on eBay, in terms of PDF. It's because of the material they used, the Fonzo, for the essentially for the lens. It's an awful material. Let me see if I can find the MP5, because it is worth showing just how much better the MP5's material is, but I don't know if it's in this room. If it's not, I'll be back in a minute. I think it's in another room, but I do think I know where it is without having to look for very long, so I'll be back in a moment. Like I said, I think I know where it is. Nah, sorry, I can't remember where I've put the MP5. I'll find it when the stream's over, I'm sure, but it's not on one of the shelves I thought it was, and I don't want to start digging through boxes looking for it. But shoemaker wears broken shoes. But yeah, like I said, the annoying thing with the ARFA is like, yeah, it would be a good mask if they didn't make it from materials that just aged horribly. There's no such thing, Burger King. You're looking at shitty airsoft masks that aren't real masks. The M50 just has regular filters on it. Unless you're talking about a PAPR system, but that's a totally different thing. It's not a fan filter. Like, do you mean something like this? This is what a PAPR looks like in various designs. But unless you mean something like this, you're not talking about a PAPR. Because if you just say, oh, it's some sort of fan filter, what you're on about is somebody selling an airsoft mask claiming it's a real M50. Because I get that question a lot, and it's not a real mask. Again, what is the price of the M50s you're looking at? If they're like $30, it's not an M50. And Zombie Stone, let me check and see if it's a real MP5, though. So, Bud K, yeah? Let's go on Bud K and have a look. budk.com, okay. What does it come under? Gas masks on there. Let me just search gas mask anyway. Oh, I'm sorry. You have bought a French ARFA. Both the masks on there saying MP5s are ARFAs. There are no MP5s on Bud K. You've been scammed. Well, I think it's most people just don't know the difference. Yeah, it's because the French take them out, don't they, when they surplus them, Stug, I think. So, Zombie Stone, you've not bought an MP5, you bought an ARFA. So you've essentially got this either in tan or black. But both of them will have the issues of fogging and the rubber going essentially into solid plastic. I mean, look at it there. That's gone fucking solid, that is. It's fucked, is the answer to that. But yeah, you can, if you're lucky, apparently get ARFAs that are in pretty good condition. But yeah, comparing them to MP5s, there's just nothing in it. The MP5s are so much better in terms of quality of the materials used. Because the MP5 is essentially this design, just all the materials used are actually higher quality. Right, Cassie? This one actually weirdly has a drinking tube in it. Which is actually quite odd, because, yeah, I know the French like demill them, don't they, quite a lot by taking those out. But yeah, like I said, I'm not a fan of the ARFA. I do like the MP5. Yeah, I was lucky, Stug, that when I got mine was when I think it was Piota, like B-Store, got loads and loads of them in. Like, you know, the actual MP5s. At one point, whereas now it seems most of the MP5s are sold, and now it's just ARFAs, either labeled as ARFAs or MP5s. The only way of actually telling, if you're looking at the picture, and it's the real picture of the mask, the easy way is to look at the voice diaphragm. Yeah, the problem is I doubt many of the sellers are going to mention what models they've got in, though, are they, Wheel of Steel? Like, again, that wouldn't surprise me if that's the case, but if it's a bulk lot, you're probably just going to get a lottery kind of thing. It's probably stuck just because of the demand for them. It's a bit like the GPUs, isn't it? Like saying, you always have to get this stuff before the demand for them goes up. And that's the annoying thing, I suppose, if you're collecting and always expanding what you want to own. But yeah, it's the main reason I was saying to people, you know, before Corona, oh, you might want to just get a mask just in case you need one for something. So Joshua says, hello, I've been Joshua, or is that I am Joshua? German. I don't know what you mean by SMHS4Q. That sounds like a mobile network. PMGs are all right. I wouldn't rely on it, but it's all right. If you somehow sold a C3 respirator for £185, you got a very good amount of money for that. Wow, worth the money. How much money, Cassie? if you're spending £30 to £50 or dollars on them, absolutely. If you're spending more than $100 or pounds on them, not really. Oh, Shum 41. I'd say the Shum 41 keeps better than the PMG. What country are you in, Burger King? In the UK, I know some people on here don't like them, but Prepper's Shop have in-date filters in quite a lot. All right, that's good, flat cap guy, because, yeah, gas masks didn't sell out, did they, right at the beginning of COVID? It was a while into it when, like, all the governments bought up all the PPE supplies or they got scalped. No, it wasn't to you, Tyre. It was for the person who typed something and misspelled it, so it looked like they were saying, like, 4G or something. You stretch it over. You take the filter out and the outserts off and everything like that, Mufasa, and then you stretch it over. It's the same as like any chemical hood. It essentially just stretches over. Like, you know, the eyes go over the eye bits. Let me look on eBay and see if there's any gas masks for good money. Oh, I can actually do an MRE video if anybody's interested, because Prepper's Shop had some British Army, not full MREs, but like kind of energy bars from the MREs, and they were selling like 10 for £3 or something because they were going out of date. So I ended up buying 50 of them. So, you know, like 20 odd quid's worth. But I thought, that's worth it. They're all right, actually. They're the sort of thing I think you'd either like or not like. So I'll show a video to show what they're like. But they're the sort of thing I imagine would last years after the expiry date. Because, like I said, they run out of date like next month. That's why they were selling them for like 10 for £2 or £3, whatever it is. But for people who actually want to see me cover some sort of actual proper official ration thing, I bought them just because they were cheap. Right, gas masks. Let's have a look. Any of these in stock? Swiss Army 60M. What's it? SM67s. Although that actually looks like the SM71. £33. That's not too bad. Belgian M51s for £15, not too bad. PMGs for £9.99. That's not too bad. Some of these aren't too bad. It's just not the most desirable masks. Finnish Army boxed set. Is that in stock? Because it doesn't have a picture for it, but it says more than 10 available. And if they've got those in, that will be the Finnish Army M39s, I think, which are really good. But anyway, that's those. AF2s or ARFAs actually advertised correctly, 26 to 29.99. If you got a good one, that's all right for that price. There's a FM12 for £75. I would say for people willing to spend that money, go for it, because good luck getting another one for that price reliably. There are some Scott Sperians or Honeywell Sperians for 50 odd quid. That's not too bad, although they were at 30 quid at one point. There's a black rubber 4-litre rebreather bag for gas mask with drain tap. Wow, that sure isn't, you know, oh, I want the farts in my mouth. It surely isn't one of those, is it? Gas mask hose with aroma pump. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna protect you from the gas. Gas mask home with aromas pump, black sub hoses, premium highest quality. Oh no. Avon S10 for £68. Again, I'd say get an FM12 ahead of an S10, but that isn't that bad a price for it. There's something I'm actually going to bid on. So I'm just putting a bid on that. So I'm not saying what that is because of the fact that, you know, if other people sell it, they'll drive the price up. But I'll actually put a bid on that. But yeah, for the most part, I can't see many masks at that good a price on eBay, as you'd expect, because of Corona. There's some stuff on here that isn't too badly priced, in all honesty. There's a Finish M61 for less than £20. I'd say, at the moment, that's the best price mask on eBay. Getting an M61 for under 20 quid. Are we on about Frozen, but not the one about do you want to build a snowman? The one about people stuck on a chairlift? Is that the Frozen you're on about? I've missed a load of the comments, but even though all they had to fucking do in that was get one of their ski poles, put it on the wire like that, and then slide down the wire using a ski pole, but they never fucking did it in the film. I thought, oh, that was easy to escape. I was just on about eBay Burger King. Just look on eBay, ebay.com or .co.uk. If that was an actual proper Israeli civilian mask average username, that's really, really good. But obviously bear in mind, it might be a Chinese copy of it that's awful. Yeah, the MP5 does remind me, XJ77 Hun, of one of the masks in Clear Sky. I know it's not the same mask, but let me get up, see if I can get a picture of it. Stalker Clear Sky NPCs. Let me see if I can. It's not like an actual here we go. It's this sort of person. I know this isn't an MP5, but the MP5 always reminds me of this one. Hang on, this is a thing for Gary's mod by the look of it, but let me just open the image up if I can link it. There we go. Right, so this is the one I'm on about. For some reason, I always think of the MP5 when I think of this mask, even though it doesn't really look like the MP5, if that makes sense. Because this is something with like a filter on each side of it, and a bit like a PBF's diaphragm cover. But the actual, I don't know why I think of the MP5 when I look at that, but I always do it. I don't know. Maybe I ought to binge play Stalker again at some point. What I was saying that, is that guy meant to actually have a half-face respirator on with goggles on separately? I'm not actually sure looking at some of the pictures of him, but never mind. That's not what the stream's about, but yeah. No, I don't have a Car 98K, but as far as I'm aware, Car 98Ks are now on the obsolete caliber list for 7.92x, whatever it is, 8mm Mauser, essentially. Yeah, I commented on his videos, but that's good news, isn't it, Rolandus? But I did say, like, welcome back to him on that video. Mal, isn't that one, XJ77, just a PBF, essentially, but with the little filters on it rather than the cheek filters? Not if you grip both sides of the pole, Joshua, because if you're gripping both sides like that, you can't fall off, can you? Because your arms are in the way. I mean, you're either going to sit on the chair till you freeze to death or whatever. But if they were going to do that with their hands anyway to try and get across, just grab the pole and do that. If it was a metal ski pole, it's not going to burn from friction that quickly. That's the one, Stug, I think. But yeah, it's just, I think that's on the obsolete caliber now. So technically, you could own an MG42 on the obsolete caliber list, but I bet they exempt that. Yes, I did tire, although we probably can't talk about that on YouTube just because they get very funny about that stuff, and I don't want to risk my channel talking about it. Not Lotus Eaters in general, just a lot of the COVID type stuff. I don't even know, Evan, because I'd have to count them all up, and I'm not going to do it. My best helmet's that one there. But, Speaking of, like, where your mother's saying something that sounds like a school shootery thing, I know he's making a joke, but did anybody, this shouldn't be funny, but it made me laugh, about the guy that stabbed 2 women to death in the UK, and he's on trial. And the reason he did it was apparently the devil or a demon told him if he sacrificed women to him, he would get a winning lottery ticket. And he still lost the lottery. So I guess Satan fucked him over, didn't he? But some people are fucking nuts. Yeah, Fuzzy, it's just I think it was more the thing that the original cartridge is going on the obsolete caliber list, or is on the obsolete caliber list now. So, technically World War One or World War Two spec Mausers would now be available to own without a license. That's pretty good, the Wheel of Steel. But, yeah, fucking imagine that. Like, I mean, I'd hope in some ways he's mentally ill, but yeah, it was the prosecution saying that. Apparently, like, the police found, like, lottery tickets with, like, blood signatures on them. but yeah, it's just crazy, isn't it? Like, some of the stuff that, like, nut jobs do. But, I mean, I still hate that person less than that nonce they're on about letting out prison that raped and killed 2 kids in, like, the 80s or whatever it was. And then some fucking, like, parole board's like, oh, he might have raped and murdered kids, but he's perfectly rehabilitated and go into society. He's like, no, it's a fucking nonce. At least everybody phoning in LBC on the night they were discussing that was basically saying he's a nonce and should never get out, or, should have been shot. They only had one fucking, like, do-gooder lawyer on going like, oh no, paedophiles that rape and kill kids shouldn't get very long in prison. They're fine to come out if they say sorry. I got a Euro Million the other day for about £3.10, Mr. Live Era. So yeah, we're both Euro Million winners, just not very much. The foul, your mother, definitely the foul. Probably the British L1A1 variant, just because it's from this country. But yeah, the foul just because right arm of the free world. So yeah, I'd say the foul first, G3 second. Well, that's the thing, Ghost Jesus, exactly. It's literally the people you'd think are most likely to redo it if they got out. And yeah, this was apparently somebody that had, prior to the 2 rapes and murders he did, had apparently exposed himself in public over 1,000 times to women and girls. So it's like, here's a man that in a couple of years had fucking, like, got his dick out to people in public over 1,000 times and then raped and murdered 2 kids. Oh, he's perfectly going to be fine after 30 years. If they've got it in Tyre, I'd say go for it. Sounds cool. Annoyingly, when I've looked at DX recently, a lot of the ones I've wanted have either not been in stock or just been way too much, and I need to save money. I don't get it, XJ77. If that's a game reference, I just don't get it. Yeah, the cool thing, your mother, with the, like, British and Australian ones is they've got the folding charging handle like the Bren gun has. So you pull it back, and then once it goes forwards, it goes back in, so it doesn't catch on anything. What the thing I'm on about, Ghost Jesus? I think he's called somebody Pitchfork, wasn't he? I think the surname was Pitchfork, just because I was like, oh, that's an interesting surname. Let me search pedo Pitchfork into Google. Sounds like a bad thing. Colin Pitchfork. Okay. So if you search Colin Pitchfork, fucking nonce is the answer. Yeah, here we go from 2 days ago. This stream's getting oppressive. Colin Pitchfork, double schoolgirl murderer, can be released. A double child killer who was the first murderer to be convicted using DNA evidence can be released. Colin Pitchfork was jailed for life for raping and murdering 15-year-olds Linda Mann and Dawn Ashworth in Leicestershire in the 1980s. He did 33 years in prison, and then they say, oh, he's all right to go. What a fucking joke. But like I said, child rape is the fucking scum. They're like out of the lowest of the low, I think, in terms of all the shit like that. Yeah, I don't know why it's going so fast tonight, Tactical. We've only got 67 people on. I've got slow mode on, but hello, Tactical. At the moment, Michigan's most haunted. Trying to get my internet fixed because it conks out a lot at the moment. Now, the thing is, Ghost Jesus, it's one of those things where they can be harsh on it, but I'm sure you get this in America and lots of other places where you get the people who constantly are like, oh, the worst criminals possible are like the victims. Like, yeah, no, you know. Yeah, L1A1 SLR is the British designation for the FN FAL. It's Imperial, not metric, so it doesn't use the same magazines, which is annoying. But I've got one there, but I can't pick it up and show it you. But there you go, your mother. See the one just literally sticking up there with the black furniture on it? That one there. There we go. That's an L1A1 SLR. British FM foul. One of the guys who comes on these streams, I hope he doesn't mind me saying, one of the blokes that comes on these streams and he goes on Discord, has got a working L1A1 now. I've got this. But yeah, he bought a working L1A1 in the US, and the only thing it doesn't have on it is the bird cage, as they call it, flash, like flash hide and muzzle brake with the bayonet lug. And apparently that's because when it was imported into the US, it couldn't have a pistol grip removable mag and a bayonet lug or something. It could have had two of the three. And obviously you'd rather have the magazines on it, wouldn't you? And like the actual original pistol grip. My one, sadly, your mother is a DIAC, but the one the guy in the US bought works, and he did a video on it. And I was like, oh yeah, fucking FN foul. No, well, the thing is, Joshua, they don't go through hell in prison because they get put on what's called a nonce wing, where everybody on there is fucking child rapists as well. They don't, they don't put them in the regular prison like they should, where they be beaten to death. Because of the fact that they're protected, essentially. Which is a shame because, they're fucking scum of the earth. So it's a state thing as it goes, Jesus. But yeah. But that, like I'm saying, it's still good he's got one, because like I said, the muzzle brake is like the less interesting part of it, isn't it? No, the PBF has fatter, rounder filters. The M17 filters might fit in a Polish MP4. I'm not totally sure, but yeah, but didn't they then do that to Catholics when the politicians or like the Queens changed over? But yeah, the point is, like, I'm not going to go on here and let's torture people to death. But what I am going to say is they should definitely never get out of prison if they do stuff like that, raping and murdering kids, especially if they've got a massive list of other crimes they've done that are like more minor. Clearly, this is somebody that is fucked in the head and should never get out. Yeah, I've played Hotline Miami 1 and 2. Yeah. I suppose the good thing, Ghost Jesus, is at least if you got a British L1A1, is because it was semi-auto only, at least that bit's not been messed with, because it only goes, safe or semi. It doesn't do fully auto anyway. Yeah, Flazzy, because it's one of the only things in the fridge, because I've been avoiding buying spirits recently because I can't handle myself with them. But then today I did buy 2 bottles of vodka that are coming Friday, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm just drinking this for now because I know when to stop with beer. But I mean, I don't think we'd want those politicians either learning and building. If they're anti-guns, anti-freedom, we don't want them in the UK either. They can go, I don't know, to a communist country. I'm trying to think what communist countries there still are. Venezuela. I think it does, Marcus, but I've not got it set to 24 hours. It's set to 12 hours. It's got a remote that has loads of functions, and I can never be asked to play around with all the functions. It took ages to get that set to just one color, because it used to cycle through all the colors, and I like it just being on like the orange-red color, because it's got LEDs behind the Nixie tubes. But yeah, I might be able to show this a bit closer to the camera at the moment, actually. I know I'm knocking stuff over there, but what I can do is, because the extension lead this is plugged on, I've moved, because I had to tidy everything up when the BT man came, and then couldn't fix the problem. I can probably put this a lot closer to the camera. Yeah, there we go. So for the people interested in this, like I said, I've never bothered replacing the stock faceplate with like a cool faceplate, but yeah, Nixie tubes are fucking cool, aren't they? Because again, it's an actual cold cathode tube. Because you can see the filaments in there. You can see it better with your eye, but when it's turned off, you can see all the numbers essentially in order. You can buy these on AliExpress and loads of other places. Because some eBayers buy those and then put them in other units and like upsell them for a load of extra £100. I'm tempted actually with that broken Geiger. If it's quite fucked inside, I might take the bits out and put the display there. I'm not sure though, I'll see. But I wouldn't mind doing that with one of my old broken sort of Geigers, actually putting the Nixie tube inside it and having... Because, you know, as long as it's broken in the first place and it's not easy to repair, it's not really a problem. I just don't like the people that buy a working bit of surplus to break it to do something like that. Right, have fun in Rising Storm, your mother. I don't think I have. What type of alcohol's that? Let me Google it, Cassie. There's a chance I could have done and just not remembered. If I've had it on a night where I've been drinking a lot and somebody's offered to me it, I certainly wouldn't remember. So it's Balkland's sort of vodka or sort of strong spirit, is it? So I can buy that online. It's 88%. I'd probably not trust myself for that, in all honesty. Because if it's 88%, as in for the Americans, what's that? What's double 88? 100 and something. But yeah, if it's 170 odd proof, that's where you can make yourself very hungover or very sick very easily. It said Balklands when I googled it, Cassie, but yeah, so I'm guessing it's just like a Slavic sort of that area of southeastern Europe, is it? But yeah, I've had a really nice Czech one actually. Let me find out what the Czech one was called. Yeah, thank you, 176. Thank you, Chocolate Muffin, for knowing maths or using a calculator. Check. Spirits. Bechkova or whatever it's called. Becherovka. But yeah, that's quite nice. I had a bottle of that when I put one back in my suitcase when I went to the Czech Republic. And that was nice. Along with a few other spirits. So, Bahirovka. Snoz, they're sending somebody out tomorrow. If you didn't hear, like I said, I complained the first time and they sent an engineer out, but it's not a problem in the house. It's a problem in the road, apparently. Cheers. But yeah, like I said, I've got somebody coming out to look at it tomorrow. So, like I said, if they keep playing about and they don't fix it after tomorrow, I'll probably do an independent complaint. But, like I said, it seems at the moment they've escalated it to the point that somebody should be coming out with all the right tools to look into it. Because I think when they sent the technician out the other day, they were probably thinking I hadn't plugged my router in or something like that. And then he came in, he's like, yeah, there's a problem with the line. Right, I'll call in, you know, an actual engineer for it. Hopefully they do that to mine, Snoz, because if that's the issue, then that means I can get a bit more fibre optics. My house isn't fibre optic all the way to the house that's annoying. It's only fibre optic inside the house and on the main road to the junction box. The village is still copper wired. So, you know, so you still lose quite a bit of speed from the junction box to where my house is. My dad has, Cassie, but I've not. I've said it over and over again. The Pewter is the worst gas mask I've got. This fucking piece of shit. And as said, for my 100k special, this is going to be incinerated with a laser. You have to wait till the 100k special before that happens. It's going to be doused in something flammable, and then the 8-watt laser is going to go on it. And there's not going to be much of it left. A few people down my road have complained about it, Tyre, I think. So, I'd assume it's not just my house, but I'm probably the first person that actually fucking complained about it to the, you know, actually to somebody as opposed to or the internet's not working. No, because it's not the junction box, communist dude, because then it would affect the entire village. It's somewhere between the junction box and me. Suppose I could drink if I film the video in the evening Irish time. I don't want to get in the habit of drinking there. I mean, for 100k, I'd rather get a single. For 100k, I'll actually buy a good single malt, I reckon. You know, like an expensive single malt, because it's 100k. You know, it's a milestone. It's like when I had a Cuban on my 21st birthday. I don't mean a cigar. I'm not a person. I mean, gasoline and petrol is expensive. I probably end up using turpentine or something like that just because it's cheaper. Avon CT12 Blue Hank, it only gets asked every stream. And yeah, I've got Band of Brothers. I've got Band of Brothers on Blu-ray. There we go, that's a tongue twister. Band of Brothers on Blu-ray. Well, on the internet, 42 megabits, if that. So in actual reality at the moment, 5 megabytes per second. They said it should be up to 7 or 8 megabytes by the time they finish playing about with it. I do, Mike, but I've got a massive jerry can full of turpentine, so that'll probably be cheaper. If you can legally send it to me, Cassie, then that would be cool. But I don't know, with some alcohol you can't send it through UK customs because it's considered a flammable or explosive. As in flags, as in wall flags. There's a couple of flags I like. I've got an English flag. I don't have a Union Jack. I've got a Confederate Stars and Bars. Well, not the Stars and Bars as in the government one, but I've got the battle flag of the Army of Northern Virginia just because I think it's a cool flag. I'd also like the Union flag from the same time period. I've not seen as many repros of those. But for the most part, no, I can't be asked to buy flags. There are a lot of cool historical flags, but a lot of them you have no connection to, so it just seems a bit weird. If I had a load of stuff on display, saying I had room to display all the stuff properly, I'd actually quite like to put the appropriate nation's flag behind the gear that was being displayed. Although I wouldn't do that with Nazi shit, just because at that point they'd probably think you're a neo-Nazi terrorist if you just literally had a couple of German bits on display with a swastika flag behind it. Because, as I've said to a lot of people, I think the ideology is fucking horrible behind Nazism. I have no problem with German military history, just Adolf and his cronies. Zombie, as I answered the other day, I can't say at all when my next stream will be, because if the internet's not working, I can't stream. I normally stream in the evenings. I'm sure the Bulgarian flag's nice, Cassie. It's just I have no use for it because I'm not Bulgarian. Most people, I think, should respect the flag of their nation, and all that. But I'm not Bulgarian, so it doesn't mean much to me. But good for Bulgarian people, Sushi machine, I'll wear the world. Actually, I won't wear the shittiest mask. I'll wear a cool mask. Hang on. Right, it's not got a filter in it. I'm not going to dig out a filter for now, but there you go. I'll put this on briefly. There you go. You shouldn't burn a flag. I find that quite disrespectful, even if it's a pretty scummy flag from history. I just find burning flags is probably a bit like burning books. It just seems childish. This is my favourite gas mask. That's good, the Wheel of Steel. Sadly, that did not happen in my area, not by a long shot. My most degraded gas mask would be my Japanese World War II one that's literally mummified. Oh yeah, pirate flags are fucking cool, tactical. I can definitely get behind pirate flags, Gadsden flags, and all those sort of flags. Yeah, Jolly Roger. Because it's not got a drinking tube on its tire and it's lighter weight. That's an S10 Captain Price has Sushi Machine. I have got an S10, but not one conveniently behind me to pull out. Again, it's fucking stupid burning flags. Like I said, I don't get it. there's apparently a thing in the UK at the moment where the wokeists are taking down pictures of the Queen in like universities that are funded by the royal family. It's like I'm not a fucking royalist, but I actually have a lot of respect for the Queen because she's been doing her job for a very long time, and you know she's actually a respectable head of state. But you get all these people like, oh, Britain did something bad hundreds of years ago, so therefore the Queen is an evil bitch. It's like, fuck off. It's like, I can get people not liking the Prime Minister and all that sort of stuff and MPs, but what's wrong with the Queen? Like, I can get people not liking Prince Andrew for obvious reasons and all that, but the Queen didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, Ghost User, that's the sort of attitude I have if there's like the ban cancel culture on stuff. That's kind of when I think, all right, time to invest in it. Weapon and War gadget reviews, that sounds good. As in like building one yourself or doing a video on like an existing model? My oldest gas, I don't actually know because I've got a couple of like pre-World War II, you know, post-World War I masks. I'd love a Shum 2012. Laser Sight Productions, who sometimes comes on these streams, has a Shum 2012, but sadly I don't. It looks quite good for what it is, you know, as in a very basic mask, but built to good standards. But yeah, but bear in mind, these are the same people that think Britain is institutionally racist, and it's got more racist over time, not less racist. You know, it's the people of those sort of attitudes, you know. Like, everything is bad about this country. Wasn't Karl Marx a lovely person? It's those sort of people, you know. People that probably had their university stuff paid for by their parents or by some sort of state funding, and then they say how bad these people are. And I suppose that's kind of cool, Blue Hank, if it's just like a little project. Selling what? Sorry, Stug? Oh, were you on about that particular flag or on about something else? But, I mean, I don't have a picture of the Queen in my house. That'd be a bit weird. Some of my relatives have pictures of the Queen in the house. I mean, I personally wouldn't. But, you know, I wouldn't take down pictures of the Queen, especially if like you went into a place and there was like, you know, a picture of the Queen in an office. I wouldn't say, oh, we have to take that picture down because it reminds me of our bad history or something. Right, I know people's definition of Slavic countries is going to vary, but Poland, Hungary, the Czech Republic, and Slovakia are the four I can immediately think of. Yeah, the thing is, Ghost Jesus, it's a lot more complicated, isn't it, history, than people want to make out. But again, this is the problem, that you get these sort of woke idiots today that don't read any history and then suddenly they think they know all about it. And of course, all history is bad, basically, is their thing. So rather than learning from history and learning from the mistakes of history so we don't repeat them again, it's, oh, ban everything. Like I said, I don't even want to ban Nazi stuff. I think people should know all about it, because then if they knew about what the Nazis did, they'd probably be less in favour of them. But, you know, when you get this kind of culture of, oh, ban everything, pull down statues, it's like, no, that just suppresses history. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I've got a lot of East German gear. I like East German stuff. Speaking of East German stuff, I think I put the helmet away properly, but I've got the helmet liner there. There we go. Like I said, I don't like the nation of East Germany, as in it's a communist Warsaw Pact nation, but I like the NVA surplus. Let me Google that mask, plain modern, and I can tell you. It's the one that looks a bit like the PMG2, as in the GP5M, but it's got a GP7 or PMG's voice diaphragm cover on it, and triangular lenses. Yeah, quite a lot like that, actually. That, but with ear holes in it for the most part. If that was introduced in 2015, like it says on the wiki article, it probably is the same face piece, I'd imagine. Most of the same parts on it. You know, so as you could have PMG2s for the military, GP5Ms for civilians, it's probably that same sort of thing. The Lives of Others, what, the one about the Stasi bloke spying on, is it like that bloke and his girlfriend, or the bloke and his wife? Were they like opera people? I can't remember, or like poets or something. But yeah, I've got on DVD. Yeah, Lives of Others is a good one. No, I don't have a PO box, but if you look hard enough, you can find my address. Just because, you know, people online think it's funny to share it. All right, Rajiv, I am well, thank you, but I'll be off in 5 minutes because I've been on nearly an hour. All right, thank you, Cassie. There are lots of good YouTubers, though. In all honesty, there are lots of very good YouTubers. It's just they're not the ones that you'd normally get recommended straight away by YouTube. You have to sort of find them. That's a Geiger counter for a vehicle, but that's not got the probe on it. That's the actual vehicle-based unit for it. So that's a Polish DP66 Geiger counter, and that's is it DPS 68? So that's like the vehicle-based equivalent of that as the infantry-based one. Oh, I was playing Arma 2 earlier, and I was really happy to notice that was it BDRM 60 has a DP3B modelled inside it. I was like, oh, that's nice. It's got the actual proper Soviet ionization chamber vehicle-based detector inside. Depends what they send me, Top Hat Man. If they send me stuff illegal, it gets reported to the police. If they send me legal stuff that's fine to do videos on, then sure. But I generally prefer if people ask first, you know, just for the common courtesy of it. Like, would you want to do a video on this first, rather than, oh, I'm just going to send somebody something. Well, out of everything I own, the most expensive gun would be the Martini Henry. The most expensive thing, full stop, would actually be my PC at the moment, if I wanted to sell it, based on the components in it. But yeah, you know. I've also got some night vision devices that are worth quite a lot, in all honesty. Oh yeah, Ghost Jesus, I don't think, like I was saying, I don't think for a lot of countries, simply outsourcing everything in the sense of, you know, import cheap labor to do it is good, because it's also bad on the countries that people go from, because then they have a drain on like skilled workers if they're just getting them to come into other countries and paying them less. A 3D printed gas mask I don't think would work unless it was done very, very well. Most modern mask I own? Good question. I've certainly got a couple of masks from like 2009, 2010 sort of time. So maybe one of my FM12s or my later production S10 or my GSR, you know, it's going to be one of those. Yeah, there's not much point to it, Stug, is it, for the cost of postage and all that, and like taxes and all that shit. Oh, thank you very much, Last Russian. Thank you very much. So, I meant to. Whether or not they're actually on top of sending them out, I don't know, because I know over time they've changed it to make them like cheaper little plaque things rather than, because they used to do the big wall plaque, didn't they? And I think now they might be a bit smaller. But hopefully I get something. What's the most expensive gas mask? Whatever like the top tier shit is sold to the US. Probably like an FM54, I imagine. Unless somewhere like Myra rebrands an FM54, then that would be the most expensive gas mask. I've got a deactivated Lee Enfield. I think it was about £400 when I bought that years ago. If you wanted to get a bolt action rifle, though, I would definitely recommend obsolete calibers in the UK above deactivated ones, just because if you're buying one, you might as well buy something for a similar price that's actually fully functional. You know, the only thing you're limited is not shooting it without a Section 1 or whatever, or Section 2, depending on what it falls under. But anyway, I'll be off. Have a good evening, everybody, and thank you for the donation, Last Russian. I don't know what that would be, Wheel of Steel, without looking it up, but I know there were a couple of variants, a lot of those, especially made by other countries. But anyway, have a good evening, everybody. I really like the Romanian M84 I've got, but they've probably done better newer masks than that. I just don't have them. So, well, what's the price, Cracks Skull Z Gaming. If it's like $10, £10, yes, it's worth it. If it's $50, £50, it's certainly not. Anyway, see you all later. Like I said, I can't guarantee when I'm next going to be on because of the fact that until the internet's fixed and reliable, you know, there might just be a time I think I'll do a stream this evening and the internet's off for 4 hours or something. So I won't be streaming tomorrow though because I am busy all day tomorrow, and like 6 hours of the day are like when the technician's over. So, you know, I can't be streaming then because they cut the signal over and over and over. Right, anyway, see you all. Goodbye.